Oh my goodness, my gorgeous friends, I feel like I haven't sat down and recorded a podcast in lifetimes. And I'm so excited to be here. It's only been a month, but I am happy that I had some things. I got to walk you through Boulder Branding Boot Camp while I took some time to myself to calibrate my nervous system, which is exactly what is going to be this week's episode. And what we're going to be talking about is how to support your nervous system during a transition season. And oftentimes, what we think this is like, oh, something must be broken. I must be doing something wrong. I must, restart. And that inner gremlin starts to come in. But a thing that I'm so thankful for is, one, I have the systems in place, I have the team in place, I have life in place in order to support my seasons. But it's also the back end work that I've done throughout my entire life, knowing that it is just a season. And the more that I fight when I'm grappling with, say, my depression, or I'm going through an up level, which is what this was, and then it pulled on my depression and it pulled on different seasons, that I know it's going to pass and I have the tools in place in order to do it. It's just that discipline and that, motivation to actually, to be honest, I'm never motivated to do it. It's just the discipline to get it done in order to get me back here with y'all. Because the truth is, I know a lot of us, it's like, oh my goodness, I did the trauma work and I never experienced anything ever again. And everything is light and fairy and all the things. And it's like, that's not the life that I lead. Like, I feel the spectrum of life. I'm a very sensitive being. Just ask my boyfriend. And lately I've been just in a season, and I'm going to get into that. But for those of you that are new and like stumbled across this and you're like, I'm in a season of transition, how do I support my nervous system? How do I get through this? I'm so excited that you're here. If you've never met me before, never been on this podcast, go peruse. We are 125 episodes in. We have extraordinary guests. My name is Laura Patricia Martin. You can go stalk me over on Instagram. My Instagram is @ITS. So it's Laura Patricia Martin. And I do all things dating and marketing and realness on how to grow businesses and how to be in love. And, the truth, I started this podcast after one of the hardest breakups I've ever been through. And I just started to share and ultimately then created Alchemy of Love. And then that led itself to this pre-housewife era movement of helping you find and attract love as an alpha woman and heal your trauma. And then there was this other part of it of like, okay, I want to attract love, but I also want to make impact. How do I choose one? And it was how to scale and automate your businesses. I love funnels. I love personal brand. And so it started this other element. So we talk about the full spectrum here, and I'm so excited that you're here. I try and keep it as real as possible. Hence this episode. I literally just got this dope ass camera. I have the lighting set up. It is like late here is 8 p.m. at my hometown. And I was like, what do I want to talk about for this week? And I was just going to kind of brush it under the rug of like, hey, I just like pumped you guys full of like recordings. And, I feel like my podcast, and I was talking to my best friend Steph about this, where it's like, my podcast is my sacred place. My place where, yes, my Instagram is like informational and, all that kind of stuff. But you guys, like, this is where I come to just be real, as though you guys are sitting on this couch with me and we have a conversation. And I want to be honest with you about what I've been navigating in my life and how it has not been the easiest. And so as I was going through this, what I thought about you guys is a lot of us are going through transitional times at all times. And some of us were deep in it. Some of us, it's a little bit, lighter than normal, but we're all transitioning. And it's all part of that of how you navigate it. And I talk about this a lot inside of like Love Club or with my VIPs or things like that. It's like, it, it's not that you never fall off. It's just how quickly you get back on. And are you like, something I even want to play with is like, are you really even falling off? Like, I don't deem me taking a month off to focus on my personal life as me falling off. It's just, that's the season I was in. And now I'm like in this season where I'm like launching Boulder Branding Mastermind and I'm like in it and I'm so excited and so alive and running retreats and speaking on stages and like doing these things. And it just really is a transition and it's a season and it passes, but it does feel weird. It feels really weird when, for me, I grapple with depression and I've had it since I was a little girl and I know the swing of things. I know what's happening. And what I found, I took myself on the solo trip and this might land for you, it might not. I took myself on this solo trip. I went to this conference, and really, conference was great, but being alone was great. And what came fresh for me was, it's not that I was depressed, right? Like I was feeling depression. I was feeling this very common thing that I had grappled with for majority of my life. But it was really that I was being pulled, like I hit a new level in my career, in my life, in my love life, in my health, and like everything is good. And my nervous system just got very comfortable, and I didn't want to mess anything up. And so I wasn't expanding myself in the way that I'm used to expanding and going after what I know I'm meant to here to do and create this big vision and live a really, really big life. I wasn't doing that. And so it felt misaligned, that all of these other things. And I was like, picking fights with my boyfriend and picking these things and creating chaos in my life because I was too comfortable. And a lot of us can relate to that. A lot of us, when we've grown up with trauma, I have a really deep history of trauma in my life. We're used to chaos. So when something good starts to happen, and when everything good starts to happen, we get comfortable and we don't want to rock the boat at all. And I just like stayed put. I was like, I don't want anything to sink, so I'm not moving. But my soul knows I'm meant to be doing bigger things. And so it was just misalignment. And so I was feeling this pull of like, I'm not doing what I'm meant to be doing. I'm not transitioning. I'm not doing what God put me on this planet to do. And it then started to grapple with my mental health. And I was going through these seasons, and it was just a lot. It was a lot. I have a lot of family things going on. I had a health scare. We found, some stuff in my lump, and I'm a high risk for breast cancer. And that was fun to find out. I had some stuff going on with my relationship and the transitions of really, really being deep in, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, but I'm going to fuck around and find out, and I'm not going to get it right. But I promise you, I'm going to give you my whole heart. Like in that season, and just life took life. And I didn't fight it this time. I didn't go, oh my God, I'm going to go distract myself with work, or oh my God, I'm going to do all these things. I just felt it. I talk about this last summer where I went through a breakup, got hit by a car, was 19K in debt, like family problems were happening, like all this chaos was actually happening in my life. And I talk about this, right? Like put my floaties on, where it's like I put like my team of healers, my best friends, my people. I slept on my best friend's couch. I was like, I know I'm sinking, and I know this thing is happening. And then on my other side, I had my other like self-belief that I know eventually I'll get over this. So I just like sunk into the abyss of my depression. It wasn't like that. Like this season was just, I know I have to go through this. I know I have to go through these really big hiccups in my personal life. I know I had to deal with my health stuff. Obviously, that was a huge shock and a huge scare for me. I have to deal with family things that I've just been pushing away and distracting myself from. And I just had to feel that abandonment wound that was so deeply ingrained in me. I had to then grapple with that inside of my relationship and different things, where it was just like, this wound needs to be addressed. Please stop distracting yourself. And I have the luxury that my business can essentially run itself, right? Like you guys were still taken care of, and this whole thing still ran, and my program still ran, and I showed up for what I needed to show up for, but I didn't push, right? I extended my launch for my mastermind. I extended things because I was like, I can push this off, or I can just deal with it. And I really want to emphasize this part, because a lot of us can be in these spaces where it's like, oh, I'm just constantly in this healing phase, and I'm constantly in this death phase, and I'm constantly in this, and it prevents you from actually taking action. That's not what I mean by this. I don't go through death portals often, and I never stop with my mission, but I slow my mission sometimes in order to go through these things. And when I know something big is coming, like I have felt in my soul, fall is going to be big. I have felt that since I got a reading with my psychic, but like I have felt that, and then she confirmed that, and like everything and how it's stacking up, like it just very much looks in alignment to that. It scared me, and my nervous system did the thing of just like, everything's good, don't rock the boat, like what if you get it all and then you lose it all, and what about like all the little chicken nugget things just came through my brain, and I didn't catch it. right? Like I didn't catch it at first. I just was like, I'm grappling with depression. I'm fighting with my man. I'm doing these things. Like I'm just, inside, this little girl inside of me is just kicking and screaming. And I didn't get it until I was alone. I didn't get what was happening. And this is often what happens. We don't even realize, oh my goodness, I am self-sabotaging because I'm meant for greatness. Like it sounds so wild, but that is often what is happening here. Like, you're in my world. You are meant for big things. You are meant to be doing extraordinary things on this planet. And that can feel terrifying sometimes. Like as much as you want a big love, you can be terrified of it. As much as you want like deep impact and like community growth and a movement that changes lives and like these types of just uh, magic in your life, it requires a new level of responsibility from you. And that takes you stretching your nervous system. And so this is why I love science so much, because I can sit here and I can think back to old days, and you might be in this position where it's like everything is burning. I can't stop it from burning. And like you don't realize you're sabotaging a relationship until after the relationship ends, or you don't realize you're sabotaging your health until after something chaotic happens and you're totally wiped out, and something happens and you're struggling with burnout, or like skin's happening, like you don't even know what's going on. Things can be happening in your friendships and you can just be pushing everything away because you're at capacity and you don't yet realize you're self-sabotaging in order to protect because your nervous system is stretching too fast. That's what would have happened if I kept going. But because I have my background in nervous system work and somatics and trauma and all the things, I know exactly what's going on with my body. When I slow down enough to actually get out of the trauma loop and trigger loop, I can sit and feel into my body, oh, I'm stretching. My body don't like to stretch. Like your nervous system will do anything possible not to stretch. And in order for me to lead the movement that I want to lead and become the woman that I want to be and become the future wife that I want to be and the future mother that I want to be and have the health that I want to have and repair mends with certain things that I want to do within my family dynamic, it requires a very bold version of me. More of a woman than I already am. That's why I love this shit, because you're constantly stepping into a new level of womanhood. But it requires more. And so when you're going on this journey of elevation and growth and impact and income and love, your nervous system is going to go, I don't know this path. And because I don't know this path, I'm going to spike your amygdala and I'm going to set off every alarm bell in your system, and I'm going to test you with everything, and I'm going to make you walk through the pits of hell, and I'm going to throw every trigger at you, and I'm going to show you that this isn't where you belong, and I'm going to play stories in your mind, and I'm going to tell you that you don't know enough yet, and I'm going to tell you that you aren't worthy of a love like this, and I'm going to show you all the things, and I'm going to spike up every trauma you've ever had so that you don't do it. And then how that shows up is we don't launch things and finish launches. We stop going to the gym. We sabotage our relationships and we start nitpicking everything. We leave before we even got started. We decide it's not for us, so we quit and we go get a real job. We do things like this, or smaller. We start to look for red flags in everything that we do. We look for the exit strategy because the exit strategy is exactly what your nervous system wants you to do, especially in seasons of transition. And so I caught myself doing this and I'm like, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. No. I'm not above this, but I'm not doing that, because what I want, right? That soul desire in your core, like you feel it. It's called a felt sense between like your neck and like your lower belly area, where it's just like this, I can't describe it, but it's a feeling. That's how I feel about what's coming in February, and how I feel about my life, and how I feel about my love, and how I feel about my future. It's just a felt sense that it is extraordinary. But my brain got scared and started telling me, that's not for you. He probably doesn't mean that. Watch all these clients back out. No one's going to buy that. You look so dumb doing that live. You fumbled on your words. There's no way they're going to like you. You can't be friends with people like that. They're going to find out. They're going to find out all the things that you hid about yourself, that you were scared. And so you start to play small, and you start to play into the social anxiety, and you start to stay in more, and you start to stay quiet, and you start to recluse, because that's exactly what your nervous system wanted. And sometimes, yes, we need to be in our incubators of healing. We need to be in these moments. But something I know about me is that's not my authentic code. My authentic code is big and bold and brave and walks into any room and is like, I am here. And I know my value and I know my worth. And I'm not looking for your approval. I am here to deliver my magic in this arena. And any room I walk into is filled with greatness. Any room I walk into, any person I connect with, you get better just by being in my presence. It's impossible to come into my world and not improve. Like it truly is. I see it all around me all the time. It elevates the standard of who I am when I'm being in my authentic code. But because I stretched a little too far without stretching, I went, oh my God, my social anxiety is back. I'm an introvert. I don't know how to do these things. I don't deserve stuff like this. Look at all these things that he's doing wrong. Oh my goodness. Da 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 da. Ugh. You're like, no one wants to be around that negative person. And I remember growing up, and my dad always said this to me, where it was like honey over vinegar. And I didn't get it. And I thought this whole time it was like, you can't have sad emotions. And I painted all this story, but it was just my nervous system protective layer is when I'm feeling too much joy, my bitterness and my anger will come out to protect me from actually truly keeping that joy. And that's what my protective layer is. So I invite you to look at what is that tendency for you when you're at your joy. What kind of comes in and goes, that's too much. Too much happiness for us. We don't belong here. Abort, abort, abort. We don't belong in families like this or with people like this, or it's too much. Mine shows up with social anxiety, and mine shows up with just like negativity, like negative talking, negative, like nitpicking people I love, mainly my boyfriend, bless him. But it comes up in that way. And the thing about that's so beautiful about this is like most people wouldn't admit this, right? Like, especially as a leader, you're like, nah, I'm perfect. It never happens to me. I never get my relationship wrong. I never fail a launch. I never back out on a launch. I never forget anything. I'm perfect. No, I'm not. I get shit done. I'm a leader in my life, and I bounce back just like this, and I get back on track. But like, I'm human, and I love that part of me so much because I'm so open and willing to learn, and I'm so open and willing to understand like this part without shame. And I want to gift that to you guys, where it's just you're not meant to get it right. You're not meant to say the right thing all the time. You're not meant to understand love when you've never had love before. Even if your parents were fucking extraordinary human beings, your love is the unique experience just for you. Like, this is you figuring out, cater to you and your partner and your nervous systems. Like, you're not going to get it right the first time when you're going to the gym and doing the things and cooking and doing the, like, you're just not. Like, we don't know what the fuck we're doing. And that is so beautiful and so extraordinary. And like, how kind can you be to yourself in the process? Because more often than not, the reason we stay stuck is because we're compounding negativity with negativity, right? Something bad happens. I picked a fight with my partner, and then I keep picking the fight, and I keep picking the fight, and then I compound it on top of myself. You're such an idiot. You shouldn't have said that. No one's going to love you. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Everyone leaves. Compound, 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 and it goes on for freaking weeks. Versus sitting there being like, I didn't get that one right. I'm so sorry. I did not get that one right. Here's what I learned. Here's what I'm doing better. Please forgive me. To yourself first, and then to the people around you. The thing that I love about me is I have so much grace for the flawed human being that I have, because the version of me, and you guys can probably relate to this, I didn't have a proper upbringing. I am figuring it all out as I go. And this isn't to shame my parents, but they dipped out at a very potent time that I needed parents. Even right now, like, you never really grow out of that. And some of us, like, we had to be the parents to our parents. Like, we are all just kind of figuring out this whole adulthood thing where it's like, why beat yourself over the head with it? Why be mean to myself and belittle myself like my mother used to? Like, I don't need to be doing that. I need to be sitting here being like, you're so cute, you're trying to figure it out. And it's okay that you didn't get it right. And it's okay that you colored outside the lines. And it's okay that you cursed like a sailor. And it's okay that it took you a while and you fell off track. And it's okay that you're scared. And it's okay that you didn't get out of bed. And it's okay that you made silly investments. And it's okay that you have no idea what you're doing when it comes to love, yet everything when it comes to self-worth, and like you're figuring it out, because even if you study all the things, it's going to be completely unique to you and your partner. Like, oh my goodness, this is so cool. I'm a human in the human realm, and I'm trying to figure it out, just like you. And I think that's so fun. Like, I hope you take that away, where it's just like, it's okay to be in transition. It's okay. Like, here's your, I'm going to pretend to write a permission slip. Like, here's your permission slip to go fuck around and find out. Because the thing that we're sitting here, it's like, oh, this is how I am, or this is what happened, or this is my narrative. It's like, to who? Like, you get to genuinely write whatever story you want about your life. It is so cool. And the more you start to dismantle these things and work through, like, you set yourself free. Something that I keep repeating myself lately that I got from Stephen Furtick is, my joy is my job, right? Like, I know I can be a salty person. I know I can hold on to sadness. I know I can hold on to anger. I also know that's how I used to cry out for love, because that's, my parents only paid attention to me through anger, or when something really bad was happening in my life. That's when I actually got love. Other than that, I didn't get it. So I didn't know how to do this in a normal way. And so it's sitting there being like, oh, you're just like figuring it out. How cute. You are so cute. This is how we do it. This is how we want to do it. Let's train ourselves in order to get there. That's the cool thing about this beautiful vessel that we have, this beautiful nervous system that we have, is we get to grow it, we get to stretch it, we get to mold it, we get to actually create, like, you get to raise yourself. I don't know if anyone ever told you that before, but after you like get older, like, yes, I can be upset that my parents didn't do a good job, but mostly I'm upset because it's me. I am the parent of my life. Like, you look around the room and you're like, who's the adult here? It's like, it's me. It is me right now, and I'm the one that is not doing the things that I need to be doing. And so, in ways to support your nervous system as you go on this huge transition, how many did I write now? 1, 2, 3, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Some of them are interconnected, but it's fine. So 7 things to support your nervous system as you go on the transition, as you got a peek in the back of my life, as you go in this transition. These are going to be things that you have heard before. But when we are in transition, it is so hard to focus on these things because our mind wants to distract with anything and everything possible. Like, I can fucking get distracted by anything for days. Like, I will avoid the thing I know I need to be doing and putting myself in structure. Like, it comes down to knowing I'm not going to want to do this, but for the sake of my relationships, for the sake of you guys, for the sake of everything that I am on this planet and everything to do, I need to focus on this shit, which means I'm not going to be motivated. I'm going to be disciplined as fuck in order to make this happen. I'm going to override the pattern in my brain that wants to protect me from not stretching into the capacity and hold the capacity of the greater woman that I am meant to be doing. I am going to figure out how to stretch that nervous system, which means I have to get my foundations extraordinarily dialed in. Because if I am doing all these things to distract myself, I cannot be the greatest woman that I know I am meant to be and that I normally am. So now that I've given myself compassion, here's what I started to work through, going, I know exactly what to do. Let's just do them. The first one being, I wasn't sleeping. Like, I know my body. I know when I don't sleep well. But like, running a retreat and going through these things and being in this like station of life of stretching, like, you're going to go through seasons, whether it's motherhood, whether it's business growth, whether it's just stress, like, you're going to go through seasons where you're not sleeping. Your brain cannot function when you do not sleep. I cannot emphasize this enough. And so what I had to start doing is going, okay, Laura, I know I need at least 7 hours of sleep. I know it. And I know no matter what, my body will wake up at 7:30 at the latest every single day, which means I need to be in bed, off my phone, off my thing by 11 so I can fall asleep. Give it some wiggle room. Do some playtime, you know? So, okay, I need to focus on this. I need to stop with my Spanish man and eating dinner so late. I need to get back into the routines that make my body feel good. I need to sleep. I need to do it. I need to really put this in place, because if I don't have that, I don't have any of the other things that I'm about to list out. I needed sleep, and not the type of sleep where like I don't sleep and then I binge sleep on Sunday. No, consistently the best way for your nervous system and the best way for your brain to actually repair is no matter what, you wake up at the same day, at the same time every single day, no matter what. So even if I'm going to sleep at say 2 a.m., I'm still waking up at 7:30 at the latest, around 7 usually. And so I had to figure this out where it's like, okay, but I need that X amount of sleep. So no matter what, I'm getting and crawling in bed by 11. And again, for some people, that's late. But for me, that works. So focusing on these things, waking up at the same time every morning will change your entire life. It helps to actually repair your brain. It helps to balance your circadian rhythm, even if you're going to sleep late, like yes, the 8 hours, but if it's sporadic, that's how you fuck with your circadian rhythm. You want to be waking up at the same time every day if you aren't focusing on these other things. So start to focus on, I want to wake up no matter what. Put your alarm in the other fucking room. Like I never hit my alarms. It is not my fucking, I can't fathom how people do this to me. It drives me nuts. My best friend, she literally, not Steph, Marina, she sets her alarm. And she has 7 other alarms until she finally gets out of bed. I'm like, what is the point? It drives me nuts. I don't understand. It makes you more tired. Don't do that. Put your phone, if you are one of those types of people, put your phone in another room. They have plenty of apps. I used to have to do this in college because I wasn't yet like this, where you have to do like a math equation to actually get your brain up to turn off the alarm, because I kept turning it off in my quote unquote sleep and then missing class. But now it's like I don't even need alarms. My body will naturally wake up at 7:30. But like when I do put them, I guess, it's 7:30 every single day. Like you need to be disciplined with yourself. Stretch your nervous system to do that. Like you are going to then be tired at a reasonable time, and put things in order so that you can consistently stay with it. Your body loves routines, loves them. Focus on sleep first. And then the second one is morning light. I got into the habit of like first thing in the morning is I would look at my phone, and I'm not normally like that. Like, I don't know. I just like didn't want to be with myself. And normally in the morning, it's like I get morning sunlight, I do my stuff, I massage my face, looks like my face looks so great. Thank you very much. I do all these things, but I just just like stopped and like wasn't doing it. And, I just like wanted to lay in bed with my man and like snuggle up and do the things. And it's not his fault. It's fully mine and my slight codependence, where I'm just like, I'm going to do what you're going to do and I'm going to be and like all this stuff. And like, I am not me without my morning sunlight and my morning routine. We're going to put those two together, where it's like, I need to wake up. I need my time alone with God. I need my journal sometimes. I need to just, you guys know, I don't have a very strict morning routine, but I love being alone. Oh my God, it's like the time in my day where I'm like, I am not catering to anyone. I am a natural born. I cater to everyone around me and I do all the things. I am, it is for me and I love it. And I don't know, I've gotten recently into massaging my face and draining my lymphatic system. And y'all, I'm squeezing my face for anyone watching on camera. Like, I'm obsessed. I think my face like fucking snatched. Like, I feel great about this. And my morning routine, like, it really does set me up. My job is of service. I'm constantly catering to you guys, answering my team, answering voice notes, helping my friends, doing the things. Like, I am of service. I am a huge giver in this world. And I was recognizing I'm feeling really drained and I'm feeling really burnt out because no one's giving to me. And then I was sitting there being like, girl, that is you jump. And if you are upset that people are not giving to you, you are also not giving and you are expecting someone else to cater to you. That's that damsel in distress vibe that I don't identify with anymore. And so I'm sitting there being like, no one fucking pays attention to me. My man's not doing this for me. Like this train in my head is just fucking blazing forward, just running rampant. And I was sitting there being like, I'm not doing that. And so to really regulate my nervous system and heal that little girl inside of me and stretch me, like, it's okay at this capacity. It's okay to hold more because I'm not going to lose you at the heart of it all, which means I have to connect with my heart, which is what I do in the morning. I connect with me, even if it's just 5 minutes outside with my coffee. But I don't go on social media. I don't look at things. Like, I just had to put it all away. I was just like, nope, me. I got to be selfish in my morning. I got to go on my walks. I got to be with God. I got to learn something new. I got to pay attention to these things. Like you need it, especially when you're high levels of stress. You need that morning light within freaking 15 minutes, like straight to the eyeballs to balance your circadian rhythm to get better sleep, because that's the essence of it all. And just awaken this part where it's just like, it's like my spa. It's a hug to my soul when I have my morning routines and I have my morning light. The third one is time alone. To just think. A thing that happens in the midst of chaos and transition and things is, one, we distract ourselves with everyone and everything. That is my tendency. I will just be busy all the time. And like, I love being alone. I love doing nothing. I love randomly, I don't know why it's a hobby of mine, but I really love just sitting in the dark with my salt lamp on, listening to binaural beats at my house. Like it's just kind of my favorite thing to do. Like, I love it. And I can start to tell when I am highly stressed and not connected to self and going through a transition and doing these things is I will avoid anything. Like, I don't want to journal. I don't want to be by myself. I don't even watch Netflix. If you guys are in my close circle of friends, like, it's the running joke. I don't know movies. I don't know what anyone is talking about in pop culture because I live under a shoe. Like, all of a sudden I am quoting something because I watched it, and it's like, Lord, we don't watch TV. Like, that isn't a bone I have. Like, I will distract myself so hard. And the thing that brings me home, and though it makes me cringe, because the last thing I want to do in transition is have a deep chat with my soul, is being alone. And I have to force it. This is why I'm like, I have to take solo trips. I'm like talking to my team. I'm like, please remind me I need to leave every like 7 weeks. Like, I need to be by myself. I need to not focus on my boyfriend. I need to not focus on my friends. I need to just sit with myself and like hear my inner dialogue. Because if I don't actually quiet enough, I can't hear my inner dialogue and hear how my self-sabotaging thoughts are getting in the fucking way. And so sitting and being alone with yourself, it is a spiritual experience that a lot of us avoid. And a lot of us, like, we say we're alone, right? But really we're scrolling, we're watching TV, we're distracting ourselves with work. Like, you're just avoiding seeing people because you don't actually want to confront the problems that you're having, and you don't want to talk to people about it. And you also don't want to be a problem to people. So you don't want to talk about your problems to people because you don't want to be a negative Nancy. So you say you're spending time alone, but really you're binge watching fucking reality TV and you're doing literally nothing constructive. And so you're not really alone. And you're not really hearing the thoughts that are going on in order to take responsibility and stretch your nervous system, and to hear that little girl that's going, I'm a little scared of this next level. Like, we're finally safe, and I'm like a little frightened on what this leap is going to go. And you get to sit there and soothe her, and you get to figure out what activities, and you get to come up with a strategy, and you get to actually hear her versus letting her run the show that she don't have to be running. Right? What am I at? I don't have these in order right now. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're at 4. What I was doing is slower walk. So I am on the Live Relentless fitness plan, y'all, right now, and I am snatched. Let me tell you, I told you guys I was on this growth portal of like, I'm going to be in the best shape of my life by my 32nd birthday come October. I am already on that path. I am feeling so good in it, but it is a hard workout. And when your nervous system is already pushed, the feminine wants to relax and just be in nature and walk. And so I recognize when I'm in transition and I'm distracting myself with friends and I'm distracting myself with work, I was going on less walks and I wasn't doing the things I knew I needed to do. And, I was also just like throwing myself into the gym and like all this stuff. And I'm just like, wait a second. My body doesn't like this. Like, it really doesn't like this. So I need to slow down a bit. Not that I am stopping the Live Relentless plan. Like, y'all, I just flexed. I'm such a boy. I just feel really good. But I am adding in my slower walks again. Like, I'm really focusing on, okay, in the morning, I need at least 30 minutes where I am walking. I am not scrolling. I'm not listening to anything. I am just with God. Like, I need to be in those moments. I need to add that in. But the busier I got and the transitions and the things and, being with my man all the time, I'm just like, oh my God, like I'm drowning. Like, I need my stuff. And so adding back in my slower walks, it's given me this time to be like, what is my vision? Like, I spend a lot of time, building my clients' businesses, helping my man build his vision, helping my friends, doing this kind of stuff. And on my walks, I make sure, especially in my morning ones, it's at least 30 minutes where it's just like, what does Laura want? What do I need in this moment? What is my vision? And I connect back to that being like, I know I'm meant for more, but I get distracted. And, it's that slight codependency in me where it's like, I want to help everyone around me. And I forget to put my oxygen mask on. Not that I don't take care of myself, but I forget to connect to my vision. I forget sometimes because I'm so connected in everyone else's that even on my CEO days, I'm so in admin tasks that dreamer in me that got me here, that like visualization that I'm fucking delusional and I genuinely think I can make anything happen, like that part of me, I have to tap into that daily. Otherwise, anything that we're achieving in life, especially during transition seasons and trying to get out of transition seasons so we can actually stabilize and get to that new growth portal, it's all energy, right? Everything is energy. How you become and who you become and how you step into this leadership. Like, in order for me to actually obtain and sustain this next growth, I have to be sitting here connecting to that energy of the future me and who I'm becoming. Otherwise, I won't do it. I'm going to be stuck in the present moment and I'm just going to stay comfortable and I'm going to keep being this Debbie Downer person. Like, it has to be this portal. And that is what my walks are. My walks are, I am not on this planet. I am visualizing my life. I am a whole new human. I connect to the future version of myself. I connect to all you guys. Like, I'm sitting there and I'm like, this is me. This is how I connect. That is so good for your nervous system. You are in your present moment, and that can be disheartening for a few of you. And so on your walks and your slower walks, it's just really grounding into the present moment and then visualizing, like feeling into it. Like, whether that's you voice note yourself, I do this. I voice note myself so I can hear the visualization that I want to walk myself through. And I just put that in my headphones and I fucking walk. Like, that is my walk. I'm sitting there, I'm visualizing things. It's my own voice. I voice noted to myself of what I'm trying to manifest and what I'm calling in. And it's just this moment. So I can listen to that, even if I don't yet believe it. Like, I brainwash myself. That is what I do. And, connecting to these slower walks and doing these things, like, it's great at the gym that I can do that, but like, I'm focusing on reps there. In my walks is when I can actually have a conversation with myself and I can hear myself and I can feel my shoulders stand a little bit taller and I can feel this moment come through me where it's just like, this is me. This version of me is my authentic code, not the present version of me. This version that I feel in my body and I connect to. And then the last one is the biggest one. I mean, not the biggest one, sleep is the biggest one, but this is a big one that has a lot to it, is my gut health. You guys, maybe you don't know, but my previous career was a gut health coach. And so I know if my anxiety comes up or my depression comes up, something is going on with my gut. And as much as I can crave sugar and I can crave carbs and I can crave all these things, and I don't want to focus on my diet and I don't want to focus on these things, the quickest way for me to tap back in to getting my brain back to where I need it to be is an inside out job. I need my gut to be in order. So cutting out sugar, I heard Lauren Bosnick talk about this, which is like, I just eat a bowl of meat and like, I feel great. And so I was like, fuck it, let me try. And I just started eating a bowl of meat a day and I feel fucking amazing. I don't have sugar cravings. I literally have zero desire to drink. Like, I don't know what the fuck happened if I just brainwashed myself, but like, I feel great and I feel satiated. And I know it has to do with what I'm doing with on the Live Relentless health plan is, just upping my protein goals. I did not hit my protein goals at all in my life. And I know that's such a bro thing to say, but like, I really wasn't when we did my whole testing stuff. And not just from like a math point. He has like this thing I stand on and he calculates everything. With some techie stuff, and like I was not close to it. And so hitting my protein goals and focusing on my gut health and getting, certain probiotics to help with certain things and just focusing on the inside out, focusing on my magnesium, focusing on my vitamins, focusing on all that kind of stuff and really down regulating my stress so that I can actually metabolize the nutrients I was putting in my body. I feel great. I knew it was going to take time. Like, it's not like, oh my God, I ate a bowl of meat and I ate some vegetables and, oh, I had a great poop. And now all of a sudden I feel, oh my God, I'm back. Like, no, it's been a journey where I knew, because I looked at my timeline, I wasn't eating the best. Like, I had to have a baked good a day. I was doing all this stuff and I knew I just got to a point where I was just like, fuck it, I just want to eat what I want and like do what I want. And then I slowly started to see the decline in my skin. And then I started to feel the decline in my body and my mental health. And so I was like, okay, this isn't like the fun part of it, but I'm going to cut back on sugar, and I'm going to add in more protein, and I'm going to add in my veggies, and I'm going to focus on my gut health, and I'm going to start to add these certain supplements in, and I'm going to feel great. And now I do. So it does work. It is my bread and butter. That started my whole journey into this coach sphere. So I do know the gut brain connection very well. I just don't follow it all the time the best, you know? And so looking at this kind of stuff, it's so weird. Like even now, I don't even crave coffee that much. And if you guys know me, I'm a huge coffee fucking snob. Like I'm obsessed. But just really focusing on these things have helped to support my nervous system. And so take it what you will. None of this is medical advice, blah, 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 blah. You guys already know that. But like, this is what worked for me is just, I know I'm on an expansion of greatness right now. And I'm also in a season of like healing some shit and having to go through some stuff that I don't want to go through, but I have to in order to get to the other side. And so I know I need to support my body in certain ways. And there's a holistic way to do this to help to hold that, right? Like I know where I'm going next. It's huge. It's mind-blowing. It's already mind-blowing. It's just wow, it's scary. And so being able to hold my nervous system as that grows at every single layer, like this is how I incrementally do it. I revisit this stuff all the time. Like these are the foundations that I focus on in order to hold each growth, because if I'm just growing and growing and growing, that's how you get addicted to chaos, and then you lose it all and you sabotage and you go up and down and up and down. And that was my old cycle. This has been a very steady growth. I just know adding in the relationship, adding in travel, adding in new calibers of friends, adding in certain things, my nervous system was like, whoa, the going is so good. Like it freaked out a bit. So it's natural that then this comes in and it's like, oh, I just hit my upper capacity. Now it's time to stretch. And so that's how getting in this thing. So, you know, walking through these practices, getting your energy in alignment to hold big things, it's going to change the game for you. It's going to help you hold it. It doesn't make it just go away. Like this is life. We're in the human realm. We have to experience all things, but this eases that transition so that you can expand your nervous system to be able to hold this. So I loved this vulnerable chat with you. I hope you guys like the new visual with my new camera. I'm very excited to play with this. Share this with anyone that's like, you're like, you need to hear this, listen to this, just pass them our way. This is how we grow this podcast. I'm so excited. Go write us a review. It means more than you know. It takes 5 seconds. If you're on Apple, just scroll to the bottom, type your review, rate us. We're trying to get that to the top this year. And if you're on Spotify, you can just click rate and give us that 5-star review. It means more than you know. And then come hang over at Instagram. My Instagram is it's Laura Patricia Martin. So @ITS Laura Patricia Martin. And if you want to take this to the next level, you got Love Club for 7 days free. You got Alchemy of Love if you're in the season of finding your man, and you got Bolder Branding if you are in that branding vibe and you are looking to elevate your online presence to call in high-level clients. We are here to elevate you and help you step into womanhood in all arenas. I'm so excited. All the things. I feel vulnerable, but I'm very excited. It's time for bed as it's 9 p.m. and I'm talking about sleep. But I love you guys so much, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye.